Finley the fish was a cheerful soul. He lived in a bustling coral reef full of color and commotion. It was always a bit of a squash, but Finley didn't mind. He liked having friends nearby. One sunny morning, Finley decided to visit his friend, Susie the starfish. She lived on the other side of the reef. "See you soon," Finley called out, giving a wave of his fin. Then he set off, dodging a grumpy pufferfish and a family of seahorses. The current was strong that day. Finley wiggled his tail as hard as he could, but the water pushed him this way and that. "Whoa!" he cried, tumbling head over tail. "This is quite the ride!" Before he knew it, Finley had been swept away from the familiar coral. He found himself in a new part of the reef, surrounded by bubbles. The bubbles shimmered and danced around Finley. Some were big, some were small, and they sparkled with all the colors of the rainbow. Finley giggled, feeling his worries float away. "What's all this then?" a voice boomed beside him. It was Horace the humphead wrasse, looking rather grumpy. "Can't a fish get some peace and quiet around here?" Suddenly, a group of young clownfish zipped past, blowing even more bubbles. "Come on, slowpoke!" one of them shouted to Horace. "It's a bubble party!" Horace rolled his eyes but couldn't help but crack a smile. Finley joined the party, chasing bubbles and making new friends. Maybe getting swept away wasn't so bad after all. After the bubble party, Finley felt quite peckish. He found a nice patch of seaweed and started to nibble. Delicious, he thought. Suddenly, he felt a pinch on his tail. "Ouch!" Finley cried, spinning around. There, scuttling sideways, was Clementine the crab, a mischievous glint in her eye. And in her claw was a clump of Finley's seaweed. "Hey!" Finley protested. "That's mine!" Clementine just shrugged and scuttled off into a crevice in the coral. Finley sighed. It was impossible to stay cross with Clementine for long. He just hoped she'd leave him some seaweed for later. Still feeling a bit hungry, Finley decided to head home. As he swam along, he noticed a group of fish swimming together in perfect formation. They moved gracefully through the water, their scales shimmering like silver. "Wow, they're brilliant," thought Finley. He edged closer, mesmerized by their synchronized movements. He tried to copy their steps, wiggling his fins and swishing his tail. The other fish continued their elegant routine, seemingly unaware of Finley's clumsy attempts to join in. He bumped into one, then another, causing a ripple of chaos through their perfectly ordered dance. Finley blushed, embarrassed by his lack of coordination. "Sorry," he mumbled, slinking away. Perhaps dancing wasn't his forte. He'd stick to telling jokes, he decided.